just because you have a big channel, you cannot do what you want. That's just, you need to have, or you need to take care of your audience, and you need to make content for your audience. And this is also the reason why I don't want to go down this road and don't want to talk about Windows, Linux, and systemd and snaps. I could talk about this. I have an opinion on all of these topics. I don't have the deep technical knowledge because I just don't care. And because my channel that's not what my channel should be about. Because my channel is about becoming IT professionals. I want to focus on industry standards. And if we talk about systemd, for example, well, then you know my opinion. Yeah, whatever is an industry standard, knowing about this will help you to understand your job, to manage systems, and guess what most Linux distros are using. Yeah,
hey, there's a video that will get you a lot of hate if you do a video on systemd from an IT professional perspective. Even though you do that, there's going to be tons of comments telling you why you shouldn't be using systemd.
Yeah, that's right. But that's why I don't want to go down this road. It doesn't make any sense. And this is also not the audience I want to make content for. So I definitely get this. There are channels out there that can talk about this, or can say, okay, systemd is bad, why, blah, blah, blah. Probably there is an audience for that, and it's okay to make content for this. But I don't want to do this. And this is not my audience. This is also what I found out with the video, why I switched from Linux to Windows. All the dislikes that are from people that are not my audience. So I don't say these people are wrong. Yeah, they have valid concerns with Windows. I understand this. I get it. But that's not what the audience I make content for, and that's okay. Yeah. So you just need to make. I think you need to be consistent with the content or with the audience. That's the most important thing. I think, if I can say this, because I don't have so much experience on YouTube, but that is probably the thing that helped me growing, to have a clear vision of what content I should cover and consistently try to do that.
I've only been doing this for 1.5 years myself, but I'm definitely in the same boat, where having that clear vision of what you want to do is very important. Obviously, when you have no viewers whatsoever, you can do whatever you want. But if you want to actually build up a channel, and you actually want to have people learning something from that channel, you have to have, okay, this is what my channel is going to be about. Even if you're going to be like a Reddit commentary channel, if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. But once you've actually got some sort of viewer base there, I think it becomes very difficult to actually shift your viewer base, especially if you're trying to shift, like, going from IT professional into the sort of reactionary Linux stuff isn't a super big shift. You could probably do that, but a lot of channels end up basically killing themselves by trying to completely shift their content. So I think it's, especially if you want to take this seriously, it's a very important idea to actually have a direction that you are actually interested in and you want to put the effort into growing, rather than trying to get to, like, become a bit of a bigger channel and then realize, like, oh, I don't actually care about what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with this. This is also why I want to make this content. Well, I probably could become a Linux YouTuber if I would want to do that. Yeah, so I can just install my computer with Linux and make everything about Linux. But I don't want to do that. I'm not so... that's not what I spend my time on, personally. Yeah, I don't want to spend hours and hours to configure Vim or so. Yeah, I mean, I want to learn something about it. I want to improve in that. That's okay.
I feel like that was a personal attack.
No, don't worry. I just want to tell people it's okay, and we come on a channel, we can have a discussion, even if we have different opinions on certain topics. That's absolutely fine, and we can talk about this, because we respect each other and try to tell people, well, you need to find your way. You need to really understand what is your personal opinion, and that's okay. So, and as I said, I could do this probably, but I don't want to do this, and I want to make content I spend my time on, and I really enjoy making content of, and that's just the case. Yeah.
Well,
by the way, I also use By the way, I also use Vim, so then.
Well, the problem with you just becoming a Linux YouTuber is the fact that there's all of these other Linux YouTubers that already exist. You have this niche where you kind of carved out, this is sort of like what I want to do, and you're sort of doing it your own sort of way. If you're just like, I'm just going to become a Linux YouTuber and I'm just going to, I don't know, do it like whatever popular Linux YouTubers actually do. I don't actually care. This isn't a secret or anything. I don't watch Linux content anymore. It's actually a good thing. I recommend not watching a lot of content in your own niche, because what's going to happen is you're going to start emulating other people's styles rather than trying to, obviously make your own sort of style there. Like, it's all well and good to see what other people are doing, but like I'm subscribed to a lot of big Linux YouTubers, but I don't tend to watch their videos, just so I can see this is sort of like the general mindset of what people are doing. Like, here's this, maybe there's some popular news topic that I missed or something, and I want to do a video on that, but I'm not going to go watch their take on it, for example, because I feel like that would really influence the take that I was going to make on it. So the point I was getting at there was, there are all of these Linux YouTube channels that already exist. Just going into it and doing anything that anyone else is doing won't make you stand out whatsoever. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people tend to completely ignore when they start up a channel. Like, if you start up, say, another programming tutorial channel, like, there's thousands of these that exist for every single language out there. What are you doing that's making you stand out?
Yeah, exactly. You need to find something that is unique about your channel. And you're absolutely right. If you watch too much stuff in your niche, it will definitely have an impact on your content. Because and that is the reason why I also don't watch all of my I wouldn't say competitors, but it is like people who are in the same niche or make the same content.
Mm-hmm.
And I never would compare myself to Linux YouTubers, because that's completely different. But I compare myself to other people who make videos for IT professionals. So there are big channels that also inspire me sometimes. But I try to find the way I can add value on this. So I watch the content and I try to understand what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I see there is a difference in presentation style, for example, because some or the most big YouTubers I have seen so far, they try, or many of them try to be more entertaining than just educational. So they just want to entertain people and do some funny things in their videos and so on. Yeah, that's I totally get that. It's fun watching them, but it's something I can. That's not me. Yeah, so I try to stick to what. Try to stick to my personality, I would say so, and I try to find ways how I can add value to those topics that are already covered, because it's really hard to find topics that are not covered.
Yes,
so that's interesting. You came up with this idea about the Linux history. That's probably a topic that is not covered, so that is interesting. But most of the stuff is already covered by people, but in a different way. Yeah. So that's I always try to think about what I can or how I can add value to this. So the last video I did about Ansible, for example, was something like this, because I wanted to do something about Ansible, because I've seen so many companies are using that. It's an important technology in the industry. So that's also very trending stuff. So I thought I should do some research about this and get up to speed and get started with Ansible. That's how I did this. So I watched some YouTube videos, but I got bored of the way how they presented it. It's like, okay, I closed that down. Go to the technical white paper and try to figure out it myself. So this is how I do the research. Then I watch these videos again and try to find out, okay, is that somehow similar to what I have seen in the white papers, how they are presenting it? And I've seen so many videos scratching the surface, or like saying, okay, this is how you can use Ansible. Okay, Ansible can be used to provision your Linux machines. This is how you authenticate to a Linux machine. It's using SSH. So you can authenticate via username and password. But don't use this in production, because this is probably not secure. But I'm going to show this in this tutorial because it's the easy way for me to cover that. Yeah, okay. But I thought, okay, yeah, well, while this is a good way to get started, I could maybe add some value and try to teach people how to properly authenticate to these servers, because that's what people are gonna do in the real world. Yeah, they don't want to see test labs, and they also want to see how they can use that in a production environment. So I need to come up with a proper authentication via private and public keys. So I need to teach people about private and public keys, how this is working, how the authentication is working, how they can probably store credentials and so on. So that is where I tried to go one step further, this stuff. And I think that is interesting for some people if they already watched the other videos and want to see or somebody or a video that adds some value on top of this. So that is how you could approach those topics that are already covered.